The holidays are coming up fast, and if you are anything like me, you probably want to stick to a budget. So, today I am going to walk through some intentional ways to stay mindful and to proactively save for the holiday season. There's a lot of personal finance jargon on the internet, but here at Break Your Budget, we cut through the crap and focus on getting the basics right. There is literally nothing worse than a holiday spending hangover. And so I do everything I can to avoid this feeling like the plague. And I do this by following a few very simple tricks that make saving and spending during the holiday season a little bit easier. So here are 5 tips to keep in mind before the holidays hit, so you can still have a fun and memorable holiday season without getting that spending hangover. Tip number 1 is to start a holiday sinking fund. And this is honestly something that you should do right now if you haven't done so already. I actually start my holiday sinking fund in like January or February of every year. So I have the full year to save. But if you haven't started one yet, that's totally fine. It's not too late. You can start today. And what you want to do is identify your holiday budget. So, how much are you going to spend this year on gifts, on travel, on attending parties or events? Add it all up and then divide it by the amount of weeks we have left until the holidays. So I believe we have like 5 or 6 weeks, which is actually insane. Whatever that number is. So let's say you set an $800 budget and we have 6 weeks left until the holidays. That means you'd want to set aside $130 every week into this holiday sinking fund. I recommend that you use a high yield savings account for this. I actually use SoFi as my high yield savings account. If you're interested in getting started with SoFi, my link is always in the show notes. And what I love about SoFi, this is not sponsored by the way, is that you can set different vaults, is what they call them, within your one singular savings account. So I actually have a vault for holiday gifts, and I just put money into that on a monthly basis all year long. But again, if you haven't started this yet, it's totally fine. You still have some time. You'll just need to be making transfers on a more weekly basis to catch up. The beauty of having a holiday sinking fund is it helps you stick to a budget because whatever's in there is what you can spend for the holidays. But B, when you do have an expense related to the holidays or you're shopping for gifts or whatever, you can just pull money right from that account. It doesn't have to impact your budget so severely. And I honestly feel like it just makes the holidays much more enjoyable because I have money that's set aside that I can use guilt-free for whatever I want during this holiday spendy season. The key though is setting the budget and sticking to it. So if you set a budget for $800, don't go over that $800 budget. That's the hardest part of the whole thing. My second tip here is to audit your upcoming expenses. So before the holiday spending spree starts, do a quick mini money review. You know I love a spending audit. Look through all of your subscriptions or any automatic bills or payments that you have and put a microscope on your weekly spending habits. Maybe on a weekly basis you're going out for a couple of coffees or you're ordering takeout or you're buying lunch at work. You want to make sure that A, you cancel any subscriptions or any payments that you're not using and then reroute that money to your holiday sinking fund. But B, looking at your weekly spending patterns, if there are any little spends throughout the week or small leaks that you could also forego and then reroute to your holiday sinking fund, that would probably accelerate your progress. You'd be surprised if you don't track your expenses, how many leaks there are in your spending. I highly recommend tracking your expenses. You can do this inside the personal finance dashboard. You can also track your sinking funds inside the personal finance dashboard. So if you are someone who is hearing these tips and you're like, wow, I should have done this year, I recommend that you check out the PFD. Keep in mind, a small leak sinks a big ship. And so as we approach the holidays, even though they're coming up very quickly, if you make a few small minor adjustments, so $25 a week, let's say for a month, that's 2 coffees in 2025. Ultimately, that could be $200 extra you have for the holiday season and for holiday spending, and that can go a long way. Tip number 3 is to get creative with your gifts. The best gifts don't have to be expensive, but they should be intentional. This might be a hot take, but I actually hate receiving gifts that I didn't ask for. And before you yell at me, it's not because I am a cold-hearted wench. It's because I hate the idea of somebody spending their money that they've worked really, really hard for on something that I don't really care for or don't need or wouldn't use. I understand the intention behind gift giving, but I do feel like during the holidays, we sort of lose the intention, if that makes sense, and really are just focused on getting good deals and buying gifts and having something to give everyone without actually thinking about, is this a gift that somebody would actually want? So, to avoid this altogether, I really encourage you this holiday season specifically to have some open conversation and dialogue around gift giving with the people who you would be exchanging gifts with. In some cases, too, you can even switch up how you exchange gifts. This is something that my family did last year. We used to, as a nuclear family, exchange gifts and buy a gift for everyone. But what we started doing last year was a Secret Santa within our family. So we set a limit. It was a $200 spending limit on everything, or $200 on the gift. And then we did a $25 stocking limit. And you got assigned one person. It was a secret. And they submitted a list, and you could buy off whatever their list for up to $200 and get them, a gift. But ultimately, we were only buying for one person instead of buying for, 4 to 5 to 6 people, depending on who we were celebrating with that year. And honestly, it was amazing. I highly recommend doing something like that, especially if you're a little bit older. Like, we're all adults now, so we're not doing Christmas in the traditional sense. None of us really need anything, but it is fun to keep the spirit of gift giving alive during the holidays. It's always nice to give and receive something. So that's one example, but you could also do DIY gifts. Like, I'm really into sourdough. I love giving sourdough as a gift. So maybe you could bake a loaf of sourdough and give someone some starter. You could also gift experiences. One year for my dad, we gifted him a coffee tour of Cape Cod because we love to go get coffee together. And so basically, it was 5 places that we picked out that we hadn't tried before, and we would go and get coffee, and it would be on me or my sister. And like, that was our gift to him. It's much more intentional, it's much more meaningful. It allows for us to experience something together, and it's still kind of festive because you're giving it during the holiday season. So I really think going forward, especially in this era of aiming to consume less, like, we should reevaluate our gift giving strategy during the holidays and be open to different ways of giving. Number 4, and this is really important during the holidays specifically because it is when we tend to spend the most amount of money. You want to make sure you are optimizing for rewards and cash back on the spending you're already doing. If you are spending money during the holiday season, you want that money to be working as hard for you as it possibly can. Specifically, I do this using cashback apps like Rakuten. This is not sponsored, but I really, really wish it was. I have been a long time Rakuten user. I've talked about it before. I will talk about it again. It is literally the best cashback plugin ever. I've been using it for years, but what I really love about it, especially during the holiday season, is that they basically double and triple their rewards. So, the TLDR on what Rakuten is, it's the newer version of eBay. So it's a plugin, you plug it in on Google Chrome, you sign up for an account, and when you spend money, basically a little flag comes up in the corner of your screen if it's a partner of Rakuten, and it offers you a percentage of cashback. It also scans for coupons. And so, when you toggle that on, essentially you earn cash back on the purchases you're already making, and then they mail you a check every quarter. It's awesome. Like, it really is great. But during the holidays specifically, they amplify their rewards. So if you're a new Rakuten user, you can get $50 in cash back when you make your first purchase. Usually it's $30. But also during the holidays, they'll like double their cash back percentages and stuff. And stores who normally offer like 5% cash back will offer 10 or sometimes even 15% cash back. So if you're already shopping, you might as well earn cash back on the money you're already spending. And that's why I love Rakuten. And I especially go hard with Rakuten during the holidays because it's just essentially free money back. And then the checks that I get, I use towards other shopping that I do all throughout the year. Another hot tip could be to use your Rakuten check that you earn during this holiday season and put it into your holiday sinking fund for next holiday season. And that's on savings inceptions. Seriously. So if you're not using Rakuten, my affiliate link is also in the description. Again, this isn't sponsored. I just love Rakuten. The link that I'm sharing is one that anybody can get with their account. But if you use my link, you get, I think, $50 right now. If it's not $50, I'll adjust it on the screen when you make your first like eligible purchase with Rakuten. And then you can get your own link and share it amongst your friends and then also earn cash back from them too. It's awesome. And last but not least, my fifth tip is to use your holiday spending from this year to plan ahead for 2026. Your spending in 2025 is essentially a big data pool for your spending for 2026. So if you're going into the holiday season this year without a plan and you have kind of no idea how much you're going to be spending, I would actually use it as an opportunity to really map out what your budget is in an ideal state and then track against that so you can get a better sense of what your spending patterns tend to be during the holiday season and make a better plan going into the holidays for next year. I know it sounds kind of crazy to be thinking about 2026 holidays in 2025, but I do feel like every year it comes up really quickly. And once you have a better gauge of what your holiday budget is too, you can save for it incrementally starting in January all year long. So then next year around November and December, you have your money ready to go with no surprises. Keep in mind, the holidays are all about connection, not consumption. And while it's always nice to give gifts and to receive gifts, it really is all about spending time with your family and your friends. It sounds cliche, but it really is the whole point of the holiday season. Don't get lost in buying stuff and giving gifts and overspending because it's just simply not worth it. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, let me know in the comments. As always, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are on your financial journey. And I will catch you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.